Welcome to the Stories That Sparkle. I'm Hella Rader, and today's episode is yet another reunion event that I had while I was on the Discoball Tour. This is the fourth conversation I recorded during my time in Santa Fe in September. This is the 10th episode I recorded during the Discoball Tour, and it's my first time seeing Kate, who's sharing with us today, in 13 years. So yeah, it's a total reunion, and I am so honored that she was willing to share this particular story. There were a few we had to pick from that she was debating, and she decided this was the story she wanted to share about her son, Jax, who was born premature, her journey through his 92 days struggling to live, and the lessons she learned from that. And the biggest takeaway among many of them in this story is that truly everyone has a story, and we don't always know what that might be. So I'm really just in awe of Kate. She's always a delight to be around. Spending time with her was a real pleasure, and really excited for you to hear her story. So take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. Get comfortable, sit back, and listen in. I'm Hella Rader. With a good sense of humor, an open heart, and an open mind, I love to explore the very human complexities in others and in myself. That's why I created a space for women you have never heard of and could easily pass on the street to share in their own voices the intricacies of starting over in life, building community, inhabiting their bodies, and more. Welcome to our Discoball, the stories that sparkle. Okay, we are officially recording.
Okay.
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We figured out it's been at least 13 years.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is bonkers. Wow.
You look exactly the same.
Oh, well, so do you. I mean, we have not aged at all.
No, not a minute.
Not in the least, which I find delightful. So y'all, I'm here in Santa Fe still. I'm here with Kate. We used to work together in an art gallery on Canyon Road in Santa Fe. It was wild times. It was something.
It was. We had some fun, for sure.
We did. We had lots of laughs.
Yeah.
At this gallery, but I haven't been back also since I left 11 years ago, and we sort of kind of a little bit stayed in touch, but it's hard sometimes. So I'm going to work on that.
Okay.
Because I really would like to stay in better touch with you. How about that?
Yeah. You feel like one of those friends, though, that even if you don't talk to them often or, in years, I feel like we still kind of reconnect very easily when we do see each other.
That's true.
So, but that's no excuse.
Right. Well, I'm going to make a bit more of an effort to get back here more often.
Yeah, good.
I was a bit worried about coming here to Santa Fe because, this is where things went sideways big time in my life, or started to become obvious that they were going sideways, even if I didn't fully pay attention to the fact. I had to, work through that for 6 more years after leaving here before really doing something about it. But so I was a bit hesitant, nervous, not hesitant. I was going to do it, but I was nervous. So, but it's been actually really lovely.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and it's like I'm glad I'm getting to see the people I'm getting to see while I'm here.
Yeah,
it's really been a very beautiful experience.
Oh, good.
So thank you for being part of this.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, oh, I love it. So we were just chatting about all kinds of things, catching up on the last 13 years. Holy smokes! And I said, what would you like to talk about? And there were a couple things that came to your mind. So we can enter in wherever you feel comfortable.
Okay. Well, I think, when you did ask me that, the first thing that came to my mind was a story, a very powerful and impactful story that I experienced that I've never really talked about. Mm-hmm. I have talked about it to close friends, Sometimes people who have gone through the same or similar thing, I would commiserate and, just let them know I understand what they're going through. But it's not something that I have talked about at all often. I rarely talk about it, actually. But I do feel that the story it taught me great lessons, and it would be a shame if I did not share those lessons that I learned.
Right.
I learned the hard way.
Right.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
So, how do we start?
Well, I guess because I remember this time in your life, because I remember seeing you in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I guess, yes, we went to, you were in the hospital because you were pregnant.
Yes, and so this was in 2012, and I was pregnant. I had a normal, healthy pregnancy up until about, I don't remember how many weeks. I don't remember. I should know that, but I don't. And I went into premature labor and went to the ER here in Santa Fe. They put me onto an ambulance to go to UNM hospital. I was in the hospital there for 3 days, taking all kinds of medication to stop the premature labor, which didn't work ultimately, obviously. And my son was born very premature. I can't believe I remember. I don't remember, but I think he was born at 28 weeks, I believe. Yeah, that's right, 28 weeks. He was obviously very fragile and unstable. And so he was in the NICU for 3 months. And before this happened, I didn't know what a NICU was. I hadn't been in a hospital in 20 years before this happened. And then all of a sudden, we were thrown into, well, first an ambulance, and my partner Tim was driving behind us in our car, and we had no idea what was going on. My son was born with very undeveloped lungs, but there was optimism when he was first born. They said, the doctors knew all the things that they were supposed to do, and they were, doing them, not expecting him to get better right away, but knowing that in weeks, as his body grew and his lungs grew, that he could be healed. It was definitely possible. After he was born, he was obviously had to stay at the NICU. We lived up in Rio and Medio, which is north of Santa Fe. So, and there's no way we could have commuted back and forth.
Yeah, because that's over an hour drive.
Oh, yeah.
Each way, at least.
Yeah, it was probably an hour and a half each way.
Right. And I would imagine you would want to be with him.
Absolutely. I would not have left his side, except they made you.
Right. And they're like, you got to go now.
Yeah.
What's that like?
It's pretty awful. I understand why they do it. They would shut down visiting hours during the doctor's rounds, and the change in nurses' shifts. So I think it wasn't long. It was just a couple hours twice a day. I decided that we would stay at the Ronald McDonald House.
Oh, that's right. I remember this, actually. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so...
What was that? What's that like?
So weird. It's, it's an amazing organization, an amazing offering to people. I think we were there for 3 months. it was weird because when I got out of the hospital after giving birth, I didn't have any clothes.
Oh, right, because you're like, I'm going into labor. You're not
Yeah.
packing a bag.
No,
And it was
not at all.
premature, so you didn't have a bag ready.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And so I had the clothes I was wearing the day I went into labor. Then I had been wearing a hospital gown for, 3 or 4 days. And then, so we went to Walmart.
Right. You're like, I need to get some clothes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Some
gosh.
underwear and socks. And
So did you basically go straight from the hospital into the Ronald McDonald House? Like not even go home? Like
I
you're
didn't.
just, you're like,
Yeah.
Nope, I'm going straight
Yeah.
here down the road or across the street
Yep.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tim went home to get me some things. The other funny thing that happened was we knew we couldn't continue to live in Rio and Medio with a tiny little fragile baby, and so our landlords were kind enough to let us out of our lease. So Tim also packed up our house and put our stuff in storage
Wow.
while I was at
Oh, right.
Ronald McDonald House. And so I would every day go and sit next to he was in like an incubator all day, every day. And, I would sleep at the Ronald McDonald House, but would just wake up and go be next to him. But being at the Ronald McDonald House was wild. It was such a sad place. But it wasn't always, I guess it wasn't always sad because sometimes it was people just coming from far away, like a rural New Mexico, to come in to have a test taken, and they stay there and then they go home, or things like that. But there are also people who were, they're in dire situations, their child is very, very sick and on chemo or whatever. And so it was a very heavy place. And so, but it's an amazing organization.
Yeah. So did you have any way to because I'm here, you're the heaviness of you're sitting either next to your child in the hospital or you're in a house with other people going through heavy things. So it's like a heavy vibes. Was there any place you could go that or was that not even I'm not even thinking about this, to have a place to breathe? I'm picturing myself. I'm like, could I even be breathing? I can feel my body holding my breath as you're describing it. So I'm just curious, was that even a conscious thought?
No, for me it wasn't at all. I feel like when going between the hospital and Ronald McDonald House, those are the two places that I went, back and forth. It almost felt like a warrior. I didn't need anything else. I was on a mission. I was going to go and, be next to my baby. And then I'm going to sleep and eat because I have to. And then I'm going to go back to his bedside. So looking back, I can't believe I did that for 92 days straight.
Right.
But it wasn't even a question.
Right.
Your
system, that just drive takes over.
Total mama bear mode.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you have that kind of mama bear mode beforehand, or is that something that came out in you post giving birth?
I think it was post giving birth, because nothing in my life had ever been so important to me. So yeah, it totally came out that day.
Right.
With him.
Right. Here you go. Mama bear in full effect.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I get that.
Sure. Yeah.
Did they have anyone at the Ronald McDonald House that was there for other people staying there? Just curious.
They had a couple that lived there that kind of managed the property, and people would come in and out. Some people were only there one night, some people a week, some people months, and they always had food, and there's also opportunities down there. Well, I guess imagine at all the Ronald McDonald houses that you can volunteer to bring in meals for the people staying there, which was really lovely to have a home cooked meal rather than takeout, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
if anybody's looking for a charity to contribute to, that would be a great one.
Right, right. Oh, I
Yeah.
love, yeah, that's great. It's a great point. Yeah, or bring a meal or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah, for
makes a
sure.
huge
It
difference.
does. It
Yeah,
totally
like
does.
that like I've been having home cooked meals all week, staying
Yeah.
with my work parents, and like I feel like I'm being like cared for like
Yeah.
parents. I did my laundry and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh,
Totally.
it makes such a difference to be like eating a home cooked meal at a table with other people.
Yep.
Because I don't even do that at home, to
I
be
know,
honest.
right? I rarely do.
So I'm like, oh wow, this is a real treat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it was easy too. Like you could walk in, eat your food, be nourished, and then go on to other very difficult things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was that like? What was the that 90-day journey, 92-day, sorry, journey with Jax in the hospital, like day in, what was the progression there, I guess, or how was
Yeah.
that all unfolding?
Well, like I said, he was very sick. His lungs were underdeveloped. He had, gosh, he was on so much stuff. He was not right away, but eventually was intubated, and so you couldn't hold him because he had the like pipe that goes down the throat to breathe, and was fed through a tube. So yes, it was tragic to see your baby that way, but there were glimmers of hope where his numbers would improve a little bit, and then they would unimprove, deprove,
Right.
unimprove.
Right.
And then, then something else would go wrong. He actually had heart surgery because his heart was not fully developed. They had to go in and like cut a little, like a little, I don't even know what it was. They had to cut something within the heart, which was successful. And, but sitting there while your infant's in heart surgery is pretty traumatic. And then he had all kinds of things that happened. He had an infection. He got an infection. That's what really caused him to decline. And that's when the hope kind of started to go away, was that infection just never really got better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Whoosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like also quite the roller coaster of like, oh, it's going to be okay. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally was. And there was conversations of like, when do you give up? There was talk about putting a trach, where they cut the throat open, and but it's like, at what point is it cruel? So all of these questions of like, I don't know, like with very difficult answers.
Right. Right.
So it got to a point where they would take blood out of his heel, and then they would do a test. And gosh, I can't even remember the test now because don't remember a lot of the details.
Right.
But I remember the results were not good, and I still remember the nurse coming in, and Tim was on his way to Texas for a job, and I remember just her telling me the result of the test, which I don't remember what it was, but I said, should I call Tim and have him come back? And I just remember her nodding her head, and that was kind of like her saying, it's like, it's time.
Right. This is happening now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So not correlating these things at all, but it brings to mind I was nursing someone through hospice last year. Someone very important to me, not and like for her last 4-5 days, and so that moment when you get the nod of like you just know, or somebody lets you know that you just know it's happening now. Like it's a very strange.
Yeah, and it's, you're very powerless and helpless, but it's just like, I feel, oh my gosh, I feel like it's like, I mean, it was torturous, for sure. I just had an image of my head of I don't know where I saw that image, but when I was dealing with all of this in the aftermath, I was an image of someone just like tied up in ropes who was just resigned.
Wow.
That image, I don't know where I've seen that image before. I don't know if it exists, but it was always an image in my mind of a man. I mean, it was a man, but just tied up and like not even just like not even trying, just resigned. And that image in my head, like that's how I felt when we knew it was not going well. There's nothing you can do. It's freaking torture, but you can't move. Like you can't do anything, You just gotta lay there.
Right. That's,
I've never told this story in this much detail, by the way.
Wow. Well, you're very brave. I just want to say, I feel very honored that you feel you can right now with me right here in this way, in this forum or whatever. So I really, I think you're very brave.
Well, thank you. And thank you for giving me, I guess, the opportunity to tell the story. Like, it's been 13 years. I think I'm okay to tell it.
Yeah. Well, by the way, you're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, because this is real stuff. I mean, really hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
So because that powerlessness is really.
Yeah. I mean, nothing more humbling, like that ultimate, like there's nothing you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, I know part of the mama bear thing is you do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, but there's nothing I can do.
Totally. I mean, I would have easily given my life, but
right.
That's...
It didn't work like that.
No, not at all.
So how were you navigating this with your partner? Because I'm assuming he turned around at that point.
Oh, yeah. He came back. He came back right away. And then we actually haven't thought about this in a long time, but we went on a walk through the freaking parking lot.
Right.
Not very inspirational, but we had to decide what to do. And I don't remember specifically what we talked about. Like, I don't remember details, but I do know that we decided to take him off the machine. And that was the right decision. And so we went back and we told the nurse, and they work with babies, and the babies almost always get better,
right?
But not always. So they obviously had been seen this before, and so what they did was there's a rooftop deck at UNM Hospital, and they let us go up there. They got the janitor to open the doors for us, and they had a little portable incubator thing, and we went up there, and it was just me and Tim and my mom and 2 nurses, and they took the breathing tube out, and one of the nurses with their stethoscope confirmed that his heart had stopped, and that was it.
Wow. Yeah.
I've never said that part out loud before. So.
Yeah. Wow, you're doing great, girl.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, you know, like, what do you do then? You know, it's just like, I'm not even sure what happened to him after that. I know that some nurses took some molds of his hands and feet, which I still have, and his face, which we didn't request, but I'm very grateful that they did that. But then we went home.
Right.
Well, not even home. We went to my mom's house.
Right, because you didn't have a place at this point. You were, wow.
But I do remember the feeling in the car driving from Albuquerque to Santa Fe, and it was like obviously awful, but also a sense of relief, and then also a sense of guilt at being relieved. So like very complicated emotions during that drive. But yeah, I remember the sunset. We took a picture of the sunset on that drive, and that's kind of the symbol of that day. But yeah, really, really, really difficult.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like did it feel like the further and further you got away from Albuquerque, like it's just sort of like not obviously gone, but like those layers start coming off?
Not right away, because it was so, I don't know, it was so fresh right away. But we ended up, as you know, packing up and moving to Texas.
Right.
And that's when that happened. Yeah, felt that for sure. Like I had to get the heck out of New Mexico. I certainly wasn't ever going to go to Albuquerque for years. But yeah, so we packed up and moved to Texas.
Right. I had to I can't be in this place.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Exactly what it was. And there's no way I could have stayed here. No way.
Right.
I mean, I feel like the next day after he died, I would say within 3 days, we were in the car driving to Wisconsin to see my friends and family. And then we were there for maybe a week. And then when we got back, we packed up and moved. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Seems like another lifetime.
Right. No, I relate to that part. Like, what's happening there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So how did the two of you navigate that? Because I mean, this is something that can easily tear a partnership, a couple, whatever, apart.
Yeah, it definitely can. And you know, we weren't together that long.
Right. I'm going to say like maybe 2 years.
Not
right?
even. Not even. I think we were together. But when he was born, we had been together just over a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
Right. There's not a lot of time in the saddle, so to speak, together.
And now we're still together.
You are. I know. And you look like you seem to be very happily together.
Yeah, we are.
Which I just find amazing, really, because that's a major thing to go through, for anyone. Never mind, there's only a year or so togetherness.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like, I don't know, I think we were both very deep in grief and had each other, and no one else could understand what we went through. And we just had a lot of grace with each other and patience and not having big expectations on each other. I feel like that's kind of the secret of our entire relationship, but especially then, we just let each other be like who we are, without judgment or without expectation or whatever. And we just happened to fit together.
Right.
We got lucky.
Right. Yeah, I'm in the middle of appreciating that. Like, oh, what's that like when you're the other person respects who you are?
Yeah.
What a concept.
I know. It's wild.
I'm like, wow, that's very magical. I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is much easier when it's like that.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. So do you think also, I mean, so you left together pretty soon after, went to Texas. How long were you in Texas for?
We were there, so we went in probably September or October of 2012, and we came back in April of no, that's not right. April of 2015. Yeah, so less than 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
But you felt like that was a good, like you were able to get through enough of everything.
Yeah, definitely. We had a friend who, we actually lived in Wimberley outside of Austin in the hill country, and we had a friend who found us a little cabin on the river, very old cabin, but she lived not far, and so she found it for us. She cleaned it up as best as she could. She had it like ready and waiting for us, and that was a very healing. Sorry, my dogs are barking.
It's okay.
That was a very healing place. You know, out in the country, on the river, not fancy whatsoever. Very unfancy, but it was a very healing place, and we were there for maybe 6 months, and then we found another house, an actual house, not an old cabin, but a nice house on the river in Wimberley, and we lived there for maybe a year and a half or so before we came back, or maybe 2 years, and then we came back. Yeah.
Wow. So I know you have, since also you have a daughter. So I'm curious, you know, well, a couple of things, and we can sort of take them one at a time. One is, in that like sort of early stages of it, what would be the one thing or the main thing you would want someone who's going through this to know?
Yeah.
Or to, yeah.
It does get, how do I want to say this? The pain takes a break. So obviously when you first lose a child, or anyone really, it's excruciating at first. But then, you know, time heals. But for me, anyway, when the thoughts come back, they come back just as strong, but it's the time between those episodes that gets longer. And so I think I handle it pretty well now. But back then you would get, or I would get, you know, occasional flashbacks that were very difficult.
Right. Like of being in the hospital or on the roof there, that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But, you know, and I still get like, wistful is the right word, but of thinking like, oh, he would be 13 and he would be that kid's age, and, you know, I wonder what he would be like. I wonder what he would look like. But again, there's that resignation, like you're never going to know.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So when when those moments come up, like, what do you just like give yourself to it to like have it, you know?
Yeah. I just mama bear through it, like just power through it. And just like, I think just knowing that pain is temporary, like that is a key. Like everything is temporary. And so that has to keep that in mind, to just remember, okay, this fucking hurts right now. This is like super sad. But you know, it's going to go away, you know? And sometimes I feel like it's okay to sit in it too. It's like okay to feel that, you know? It's probably not necessarily a bad thing to feel that sometimes. You don't want to feel it all the time, but I don't know, it kind of makes you remember, like, as low as you go, you can, it'll always bounce back.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So in terms of, you, like I said, you have a daughter now. Was that like what was that process? Or was it a conscious choice to have another child?
Yeah. It absolutely was. I was like, I had that kind of 3-month glimpse of motherhood, and I'm like, I have to try again. And I should say, like, nobody knows why he came early. I had an appointment like a week before, and everything was fine, healthy. Like, nobody knows. So there's
what's that like? What's that like to not even know? Like, does that make it hard? Like, does that add a layer of complexity to the thing, or?
Well, again, it's like I can sit and wonder and torture myself, or I can just be like, I'm never going to know, and I'm going to have to be okay with that. Like, I guess we could have hired a forensic doctor or something to go through records and whatever they do and maybe find out, but like, what would that do? It doesn't bring them back, you know? And we knew it wasn't anything like necessarily wrong with my body. Like, I knew I could have another kid. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I had that glimpse of motherhood, and I was like, it's super scary, but I need to, try this. I need to have a child.
Right. Right.
And I kind of had it in my mind. I'm like, okay, I want to try next spring, which would have been a year and a half later, and all of this, but ended up getting pregnant earlier than I thought or had planned. And because I had, the experience, I had my doctor, I had weekly checkups throughout the entire pregnancy, which was comforting. And she was fine. She was actually, like, came after her due date and healthy, and it was fine. It was a totally normal pregnancy. There were no issues at all. So that was a very healing experience. Yeah.
Wow. So you mentioned at the very beginning that one of the reasons you wanted to talk about this today or share this particular story was because there were some lessons or some takeaways for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't get stressed out about stupid things so much. Like I was telling you, I often at work or wherever, I'm like, we are not saving lives here. Like, it's going to be okay. This person's 10 minutes late. It's really not going to change anything in the world. It's fine. When things get, the things you should stress out about are if your loved one is sick, or if anyone's sick, really, or dying or hurt or whatever. And so I have become, I've always been a pretty laid back person, but since that experience, it's kind of like what really matters, I also, another component is that just having compassion for people. Like, you never know what people have gone through. And even, like, to get annoyed at somebody speeding down the street, cutting you off or whatever, I'm like, maybe they're going to the hospital. Like, maybe whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, who cares? You know? Like, in the big picture of things, really the only thing that matters is, like, other humans in your orbit. you know? Yeah.
It's interesting when you say that, because in that experience of nursing someone through their last 4 days, 5 days, that was my big thing, was like, oh, what really matters is who's at your bedside. When you're at when you literally cannot even open your eyes, eat, drink anything, right? Again, obviously not remotely the same thing, but that feeling of like, oh, what really matters is the people in my life and investing there mutually back and forth, because that moment, like, that's what matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was a big lesson. Yeah, and also, you know, I don't know, I guess there's several lessons, but I don't know. I think it's like you don't know what people have gone through. When I was in the NICU, just seeing different moms, different babies while they're in there, you know, many of them, most of them, luckily got to leave. But all different stories and all different people from all over, well, all over the state came to that hospital. So I don't know. Everyone has a story, you know. Everyone has tragedy. It's just got to be there for each other, you know.
Right. Did you have I mean, it sounds like you were, you know, when you, I'm sort of jumping a little bit backwards, but on that point of community, you obviously had each other as the primary place to, like, it's, I just have this picture of the two of you holding each other.
Yeah.
I don't know where, like, just like I'm almost like as a permanent, like, for a long time, like a year of just being like in a holding position together. I don't know where that came from, but I
mean, it probably was like that for a year. There's a lot of that, you know, kind of mutual support.
Right.
And I do have to say, you know, like we had community. I had we're in Albuquerque, and we did not live there. So, but we had friends visit occasionally, and people send gift certificates to restaurants and things like that. I do have to say, one of the things that you said, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but you called, and I had like zero. I didn't answer the phone for like 3 months. But you left a message, and you said, "I'm leaving you a message. Don't feel like you need to call me back, but." And then you kind of left your, you know, condolence or your best wishes and things like that. And I always remember that, and I always tell that story too, like how much it meant that you acknowledge, like, don't feel you need to call me back, because I think a lot of people feel like they have to, and you know, and I was just so emotionally zapped that I couldn't call anybody back. So it was really nice that you acknowledged that, and I have done that in the years since. In you know, situations like that, I have always started my messages that way. Yeah.
Yeah, someone taught me that. For that didn't. Yeah, but I'm glad to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah. It's like when you've been on any kind of side of that, you're like, I don't have the bandwidth to call these people back.
Yeah.
And or whatever. So to take the pressure off the person.
Totally. And to expect a call back is just putting another burden on somebody who's carrying a huge burden already, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, oh, I love this. There's a sign up here that says, if you can dream it, you can do it. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, a little inspirational quote
for
our daughter.
That just caught my eye. Sorry, I was like, oh, my ADD. I was like, oh, what's that? Oh, anyway, but yeah, seems good timing. So what has it been like then? You know, raising a child, a daughter, after all of that. Like, how has that? I don't know. I mean, I guess you don't really have a comparison anyway, but like, I would imagine it has informed things in some form or fashion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as we talked a little bit earlier, I said, you know, I took the first couple of years of my daughter's life off of work completely, and we made the choice of like being a one income family, and it's going to be tight, but I wasn't going to not be with my daughter in those very early years. We made it happen. We made it work. We lived in a tiny little casita, but it was, and those are like some of my best memories ever, is being with her as she was a baby and toddler. And, you know, one of the other things I always think about is like, the way I live from day to day is like, I stress about like someday feeling regret. And so I want to spend as much time, as much quality time with my daughter as I can, because when I get older and when she's out of the house, I don't want to look back and regret not spending time with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there any, like, you mentioned guilt earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like that combination of relief in that very acute moment after like sitting there for 92 days, and then guilt for having the relief. Does the guilt in any way, or like, do any of those things recirculate back as part of that pain package, as I'll call it, the pain package? Like, is it a hodgepodge of different things like that when the pain shows up, or is it not really so much that anymore?
It's not that anymore. I kind of, I chose to be at peace about that. It was a choice. I was like, I can, you know, and I would talk to him, not out loud, but could have been out loud. And I feel very confident that he understands the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just chose to not feel guilty because that would kill me.
Right.
You know,
right.
It would fester for, you know, and do, I'm sure, all kinds of damage.
Sure.
So it was very much, I'm like choosing not to have that emotion because it's not, anyone would have done the same thing.
Right.
I think it was a very selfless decision.
Right.
I think to have tried to keep him alive, like, would have been selfish, you know? And so that's kind of how I've come to peace with that.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting you call it a choice. I mean, I feel that because yesterday in a different conversation about something, I mean, radically different. But the woman I was talking to mentions, you know, she's like, there's the wheel of suffering or something, that's what she called it. And it's a choice. I can make a choice about not getting into the wheel of suffering. Or if I'm find myself there because it's what I know best or have, you know, lived most of my life in, I can choose to step out of it. And that's what I'm hearing. A similar but different, it's like a choice. There comes a moment where you get to choose, or you choose.
Well, and it's also a realization that you have the power to choose. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that they can get on the wheel or get off the wheel. Like, it's up to you. You know, you have that power, but not everybody realizes it, I think.
Right. Yeah. So I'm also hearing, like, there's this big thing, you're powerless. Like, there's this big powerlessness in one area over here, you know, and then there's this other area where I do have power. And it's sort of like knowing which is which, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like maybe it's almost like the physical world, you know, bodies and things like that, you don't have the power over necessarily, but the kind of more spiritual world, you do have the power.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, never thought about that before.
Yeah, well, something for us to mull over.
Yeah.
So, how does it, I mean, we're close to the end.
Have we really been talking that long?
We've been talking 47 minutes.
Oh my God.
Right?
Wow.
I know, so time flies.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious, like, how does it feel now, like, having told this story?
Well, like I said, I've never have really told it, certainly in a forum that strangers could hear.
Right.
People I don't know. And so I hope nobody is going through what I went through, but unfortunately there are people that do. And I hope that anyone going through a very difficult time, maybe it gives them a little bit of strength. Like, you're going to survive. It's going to be really freaking hard, but you just got to, like, mama bear through it. Just power through it, and you'll get to the other side, and you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that. You'll be all right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's the thing, right? In those moments, we can't imagine ever being all right again. It's like impossible. Do you remember, speaking of it, do you remember the first time you were able to laugh again?
It was actually a few days after some of my girlfriends came over, and I think it was just so obscenely sad and awkward that somebody said something, and we all just kind of cracked up.
You're like, we need to release
this is ridiculous. Yeah, like, come on, let's just laugh for a minute.
Right.
It's okay. Like, I'm not gonna, like, nobody's gonna think less of me that if I laugh right now. And if you do think less of me, then you don't need to be anywhere near my life. You know?
Right. You can just leave right now. Yeah. Goodbye.
And there is no manual on how to do this.
Right.
And if you're gonna judge me, you can, like,
fuck right off.
I didn't know if I could say that.
Oh, yeah. I mark these all explicit because I'm like, everybody speak freely. Use the bombs. Don't use the bombs. I don't care.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Like, nobody knows the right way to grieve. And if you have an issue with the way I'm grieving, you can fuck right off. Right.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, right?
I love this. All right. Well, I think, is there anything else you feel you want to add in there?
I don't think so. I just think, like, everyone has their story, and many times they're really sad stories, and it has taught me to have grace around people that I wouldn't have had grace around prior, for sure.
Yeah.
So I hope we can all remember that.
Yeah, like let's embrace each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you. This has been really, I feel so honored that we were able to do this, and that you were willing and felt comfortable doing it. Mm-hmm. So thank you again. I appreciate it. And it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful story. I know it's a painful, difficult story, and I also feel like it's a really beautiful, there's a lot of beauty in it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of recovery and survival and all of that. But thank you.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to The Stories That Sparkle, a space I created for women to share in their own voices the intricacies of their stories. And thank you, beyond thank you to Kate for being willing to share this story, not just with me, but with all of us out here. Thank you for sharing part of yourself, and thank you for sharing Jax's story with us. So brave, and I'm so inspired by the reminder that everyone has a story, and I don't always know what that might be. And so when I'm running into people out there in the world and they're acting cuckoo brains, there might be a reason. So thank you, Kate. Love you, girl. And if you're enjoying The Stories That Sparkle, please do me one small favor. Pass it on to 2 friends, just 2, and encourage them to download, listen, subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, all the things. And if you have a story you want to share or a topic you'd like me to cover in an episode of the podcast, you can drop me a line to hellarator@substack.com, because together we bring light into dark places.